Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Seema Sheikh. I am the senior most ENT consultant at the Inamdar Multi-Speciality Hospital at the Department of ENT. And today, along with the administration and management of Inamdar Multi-Speciality Hospital, who are extremely responsible with their social causes and promoting the awareness for the anti-tobacco drive for No Tobacco Day, we are here to try and give you some information, some awareness, break some myths, and then reach out to all our people who actually in fact reach out to us for medical help. So today I would be trying to talk to you about just a few things that I have faced with regards to tobacco in the past 28 years of my career, because as an ENT surgeon we are generally facing the first brunts of how the tobacco is orally taken in our country and the smoking habits that happen. So one of the few things that come across to us is the fact that, Dr. Saab, 40 to 45% of deaths in cancer are related to tobacco. But there are people dying for so many other reasons, so many other non-tobacco related issues. So my take on that is very simple. I do agree and I do appreciate the fact that, there are deaths related to cancer which are non-tobacco related. But shouldn't we be looking at the ones that we can prevent? So the 40 to 45% of cancer deaths related to tobacco is a huge burden on our healthcare infrastructure and on the patients themselves. So if we can have a particular preventable cause of cancer curtailed, then it definitely helps us a lot, right? So we should be looking towards controlling and making awareness of the deaths related to cancer because of tobacco deaths. So one of the other things that also is brought to by notice by a lot of people is the fact that, everything is harmful in today's world. Even say sugar is harmful, cholesterol is harmful, pollution is harmful, alcohol is harmful. Then why do we worry about tobacco? Let's just do with it. So the thing that I can bring across to a lot of people is, everything that you speak about is fine, but all these ingredients, all these points that we speak about, whether it's sugar, whether it's cholesterol, in moderation, these are quite okay. Only when they exceed a certain level do they create a problem as far as health hazards are concerned. But do we have any kind of safe dose of tobacco? We really don't. So you cannot say that, okay, I can have maybe one packet of gutka a day or 5 cigarettes a day and this is safe enough for me. No, there is no safe dose as such for tobacco. Whereas the other things, although I am not trying to, justify or endorse your alcohol habits or any other habits of fried food and junk food and things like that, but having said that, those in certain smaller dosages or in moderate quantities, even if ingested, even if had, they are still to a certain extent okay, whereas tobacco doesn't have that. So for example, there are studies which very clearly maintain that alcohol in small doses is good for the cardiovascular system. Again, I'm making a disclaimer that I do not endorse alcohol usage to that extent, but having said that, again, tobacco even in a single cigarette a day has got only harmful effects. People talk about, they also talk to me and they say, okay, we understand the ill effects of tobacco and, I have decided that now I want to give it up. So I'm stopping all tobacco pans and now I'm only having non-tobacco pans. So non-tobacco pans or non-tobacco betel nuts, as we have it out here, again are related to no tobacco, but they also still have that, what we call it as a chuna, as a katha. These are equally carcinogenic. They have betel nuts, they have supari. All these are equally carcinogenic. So we do understand as medical professionals that it's not easy to give up an addiction in one day stat. And we do believe that, of course, we do say that it should be an all or none phenomena, because it's not like I will slowly taper off. But for those who are extremely addicted, let that one shot stop not be a deterrent to not stopping it at all. So we have things available to us now in the form of nicotine chewing gums. We have things which, we have counseling sessions. We have ways to get into the de-addiction of tobacco. And for those who are seriously interested in that, they should get into that and not worry about whether it stops one short stop or over a period of time. But if you've taken it upon yourself to avoid tobacco, then you must take it in a very, very serious format. Some of the other things that people tell me is that we live in a democracy. It's my personal choice. I want to smoke. Government has made it possible. It's not illegal for me to smoke. So why should somebody else dictate to me my habits of tobacco? So I agree with you totally on that. Today is a day where everybody believes that they have their freedom to make their own choices, and they are also liable for the choices that they make and to face the consequences. But the problem is that with tobacco, it's your personal choice till such time as you are not afflicted by the disease, by any disease related to tobacco. The minute you get afflicted by a disease, let's say even a cancerous situation, then it's not you alone. It's your entire family that has to bear the brunt of it. The entire family goes through hell, both emotionally, physically, and financially. Emotionally, because of the trouble that everybody goes through for the cancer, physical, running around for the treatment that is required, because it's not like a 1 day or a 7-day procedure where you get into a surgery, operate, and you're out of it. Financially, because treatment of cancer is in no way cheap, and everybody knows that. It is in no way cheap. And it can really totally destroy an entire family. So it's not a personal choice of yours alone. It affects your entire family. It affects your entire people around you. And that's why it's very important to understand that. Coming to the present day times of COVID, I've also been asked a lot of this, that what is relation and how is tobacco during the COVID time. So needless to say, one has to understand that what exactly is COVID-19, and I'm sure all of us are aware about it. It is a disease which is afflicting the respiratory system of our body, and so is tobacco in the inhaled form. So for example, let's say COVID attacks a normal lung. It would not naturally destroy the lungs to about 20% or 30%, even 40%, whatever. But we are still able to salvage, treat, and the patient can come out of it. So even if he's damaged, it is recoverable. There are good chances. And we all know that a lot of recovery rates are happening. It's not like a completely fatal disease. Now, if the same COVID was to attack an already damaged lung, so let's say you're a chronic smoker or you're a COPD patient or whatever else damage of the lung that you have, to say about 30 to 40%, this COVID would further increase that damage from 30-40% to maybe 60-70%, and that is where the fatalities would occur. So you're talking about giving a healthy lung to a COVID to damage and then bring it out of it, or you're then going to go ahead and give a damaged lung to COVID and then try to recover out of that. So it makes a lot of sense for us to not have damaged lungs during such times. The same applies to oral forms of tobacco. So oral forms of tobacco, as an ENT surgeon, we see a lot of this. We see a lot of issues with oral ulcerations, mucositis, things like that in the oral cavity and below. And these kind of ulcerations with the use of steroids, and we all know that steroids are the mainstay of treatment for COVID. These kind of ulcerations would only probably get aggravated, or they would get superadded infection. And any kind of superadded infection or things in the oral cavity is only going to make life more difficult for you. For those who need to keep their general condition good, the oral intake would suffer. For those who got superadded infections, then what may happen is that the progress of recovery would be delayed, because you had to add on superadded antibiotics, you had to look into other various infections. So all in all, at the times of COVID also, tobacco is very, very harmful, and it's absolutely not a good thing to have. So this is just a kind of a simple idea which we at Inamdar Multi-Speciality Hospital and the very responsible management and the management of the hospital believes in doing, and reaching out to our patrons to make them understand, using the World Anti-Tobacco Day as one of the reasons why we are going to reach out. And very soon the management and the hospital administration will come out and give you links onto Facebook where this is available, and where I myself, on behalf of myself as the senior most ENT consultant of the hospital and the Inamdar Multi-Speciality Hospital, would be available to take in questions, to deal with you, interact with you, try to break your myths. So watch out for this space for more, and we will hopefully interact with you and do our bit to try and break the myths with relation to tobacco and COVID, and other issues related to Anti-Tobacco Day. Thank you.